All right, guys. Today, we're lucky enough to be joined by Brittany. Brittany, how you going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, Brittany, I want to obviously give the guys like watching a bit of context about yourself. Tell the guys about the business, the salon, how everything's going, just a bit about you.
Yep. So I'm 25. I'm located in regional Queensland. Blackwall is my town that I live in. I've had my beauty business now for 4 years, and I've felt like in the last particularly 12 months that it's really escalated and grown. And yeah, it's just been growing at a rate where I feel like I'm constantly catching myself going, okay, I need help with this, I need jobs done with that. And just anything that I can find service-based wise to help me in any way, shape, or form that I can, that's not hands-on with service, and in the back end of the business has been really beneficial and helpful. So having services like you guys where you're able to come in and go, look, we've got this solution and we can solve this issue for you, and make sure that, your time is valuable. So we know that, your time now where it needs to be spent, is in the service room with my particular business because it is a beauty-based business, obviously. So it's all about, yeah, being in the treatment room as much as possible to make, obviously, time is money. So,
Yeah,
doing the best that I can in that regard and doing what I love. And then, these sorts of jobs that aren't so fun, are being taken care
yeah,
of. So, yeah.
for sure. And I'll give the guys watching a bit of context. All right, a lot of our clientele right now are sort of your small to medium teams, and then again, a few sort of sole traders, and obviously larger sort of teams of 20 to 30. Give the guys an insight of your current situation
Yeah.
regarding that
So,
aspect.
sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Sorry, just regarding that aspect. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, I am a sole trader on my own. I don't have anybody else that works within the business. And I've found that, I've moved salon locations and stuff a few times since starting out. And this is where I've really found that I've now come into my own, being on my own in my own space. I used to be within another business. And I found that it was just sort of making me a bit stagnant and I wasn't progressing as much as I needed to. So now being out on my own, and having my own space is really, yeah, scaling my business so much more now.
100%. And a lot of the guys that we do work with, especially beauty owners, right? They're look, I always tell them at the start of the call, technology aside, it's really cool, right? It can do a lot of things that, 4 or 5 years ago, you would have been like far out, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as a sole trader, one man band, what would you say the reason why you specifically chose to implement it and what benefits does it have to, like I say, a one man band like yourself?
Yep. So you guys have been able to completely customize it to my business in particular and what I do, and basically make it sound like you're talking to myself, even if you're not,
Yeah.
which is great. And yeah, as I said, it's just another job that's taken care of in the back end of things that, obviously is crucial to the survival and the continuation of the thriving business. But it's just something that requires time and effort to be put into, at the end of the day or in between clients. And it's just something that, as I said, it's something if we can have it done and sorted out and don't have to worry about that other time can be spent with the client or,
Yeah.
building the business in another way. Yeah, so I find that that's probably the best.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And like I say to everyone, the reason, and I told you this before we click record, the reason I obviously want to obviously sit down and have a quick conversation with you is so the guys watching can actually resonate and go like a light bulb moment, like far out. If it does
Mm,
that, happy days, right? Um,
mm,
because we know that, small to medium teams, large teams have different problems
mm,
compared to sole traders, right? So,
mm.
look, I'll put you on the spot here. There are a few sort of one percenters that helped you, a sole trader specifically. Like, what sort of problems were you facing before that now are relatively, on the right path to being solved?
So one of the biggest problems was, remembering who that I had to respond to and when and why and keeping track of all of that. And especially too, like I have, Instagram, I have Facebook, I have like my own booking system number as well. So I have multiple platforms that my clients can contact me on, and whatnot. And even if you have a new client coming in, that time, to get that client in the door, even if it's not physically, even if it's just online, is so precious. So So if you're not on your phone or near your phone and you're not able to, answer the call or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's money that's just left, or, that client that, could have really gotten that service or whatever it is that they're wanting to experience with your business. And then that just makes them go elsewhere. So, you really have that really short window. And that's what, you guys have been able to sort of fix as well for me, is going, no, you are a valued client, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, AI steps in and fills that, because sometimes, in my line of work, you're not available for an hour, 2 hours sometimes. And that could be the difference between, you getting that new client or continuing that relationship with the client, or not, and losing it. So, and obviously we want to make sure that, our clients is everything. It's our survival, our business.
Yeah.
So keeping those relationships nurtured and, making sure that they're feeling valued and their questions are getting answered and all that sort of stuff, which you guys have been able to customize completely into my own system,
Yeah.
has been absolutely, yeah, terrific and life-changing. And as I keep saying, it's just another thing I don't have to think about. But
Yeah.
in saying that too, it's been wonderful to know that if, my AI person can't fix something, particularly if it's on the phone call or whatever it is, they then message me straight away directly going, Brittany, this is the situation, da 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 da. And then I'm able to, when I have 5 minutes, go, okay, this is the situation and I can fix it. And know that those sorts of things are only coming to me when they really can't fix, AI can't fix it. So, or address the problem or answer the question. So, and that in itself, again, is so good to know, peace of mind wise, to go, right, okay, at the
Exactly.
end of the day, these are all the questions that clients have had or that I need to now go and actually answer because AI couldn't.
Yeah.
And then that's it, not have to sit there and follow up 45 messages and go, did I respond to that person? Da, 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 da.
Back and forth.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. And look, I think that what you said is exactly right, right? Without clients, you don't get paid, right? So everyone's business is, relying on the clientele. I think a
Yeah.
lot of guys who, are the word skeptical or, that sort of aspect with AI are reluctant to implement it. Look, even on the free trial, right? The worst thing that can happen is like what the 14-day trial, 2 week trial. You tried it, you don't like it, right? But a lot of the
Yeah.
guys are reluctant because of their clientele, right? They build a
Mhm.
reputation, whether or
Mhm.
not they're boutique or they have really good rapport relationships with their guys.
Yeah.
I want to throw it over to you on the 14-day free trial because obviously you've just hopped off it. What would
Mhm.
you say your sort of experience with the your clientele and the AI was?
Yep. Look, there was definitely times where we had to tweak certain things and, situations. Sometimes, unfortunately, we can't preempt and think of every single
Yeah,
scenario. And
yeah,
that's what's great about the trial, right? And this is enabling, you guys to fully understand the business. And in my
mhm,
case, obviously, it being a beauty business, it's very different to, all other industries. So it's about going, okay, so this scenario came up. I messaged you guys and you guys were able to fix it straight away, sometimes within minutes, which was amazing.
yeah,
Um, and then knowing too that that it's not going to be seamless, and you guys have been very transparent about that from the beginning and going, we will do our absolute best to give you the best. And I think what was great about the trial period as well is when I first sat down and we had that one-on-one meeting face to face, we could really get a feel, sort of as much as you can via being in person, of
yeah,
like what it is that I am a person as a business owner, and
yeah,
particularly being a sole trader, knowing that that is me in my business and knowing that
mhm,
that's how I would respond to a particular message, or you know what I mean. So
yeah,
it's about establishing that connection to, you guys are very, trying to get the best connection possible in a genuine way with the owner of the business or whatever it is,
yeah, yeah,
to make sure that those responses and stuff like that with AI and everything, are as you are talking to the person,
yeah,
obviously that you'd normally be engaging with. So,
yeah,
but as I said to you, like at the start, it's about, knowing that it's a trial period and going, we can go through all of these scenarios that I know on a day-to-day basis I have to answer consistently and get a bit annoying, not to
yeah,
be, a little bit, but it's sticky. But that's the
yeah,
reality of it, right? You want to be able to have those sort of questions that you get asked continuously sorted. So again, you're not spending time responding to the same thing 45,000 times and wasting time essentially. But that's where, yeah, those things are able to be solved with, your service you guys provide, which is amazing.
100%. And look, I know your time is super valuable, Brittany. So I'll ask you one last thing before we go. Like I say, I want the guys watching this video specifically to sort of resonate with your current situation, right? So I'll ask you, um, for any sole trader or small sort of business where you only have a couple guys
Mhm.
under you, what would you say to those guys who, are a little bit hesitant, or, their smaller business is built on the great relationships that they have? Because unlike your other bigger beauty salons where you don't know everyone's name who walks through the door,
Mhm.
these guys,
Mhm.
they know every last person. What would you say to those
Mhm.
guys about sort of your experience, and if they were a little bit skeptical?
I think at the end of the day, every business is different, but, our business in particular is about the people and the connections. And I think that, we're living in a world now where technology is evolving and it's able to, I think, help us in so many terrific and amazing ways. And I think that, as businesses, you have to keep moving with the times. And, our time keeps seeming to get more precious and precious. And, as you build businesses, you want to get busier and busier and you want to get fully booked. So, to bring all of that together and to make your business the best it possibly can it basically all comes back to where your time is being put. So if you can
Yeah.
find a service which is, going to be the solution to, where it is your time is being spent, which ultimately, as I keep saying, for me is in the treatment room, hands on, doing all
Yeah.
my things.
Yeah.
If anything's going to keep me from that, then it's like, okay, well, how do I make that, less of a time consuming thing? And
For sure.
yeah, that's where you guys, as I said, keep coming in and you're going, right, well, you won't have to worry about that now. And you can, in that time you would have spent 15, 10 minutes talking to someone, via message, AI now solves that for you. And you can get back to doing a brow wax and tint. That'd take you, 15 minutes, make
Yeah.
$80. You know what I mean? Like, it's
100%.
that type of thing. If you have to really sit there and go, my time is valuable.
Totally.
And why I do what I do and why I love what I love is to, give people that love and nurture and make them feel empowered and all that sort of stuff in the treatment room. So why not go, well, righto, all that time now I've just saved, with this new implementing this new AI system, I can get another 3 clients in the door. You know what I mean? And so it's about really looking at your time and going, what is really important to me and what really matters. And, I think I've had conversations with, some of my older clients, for example, that go,
Yeah.
this AI business, what's it all about? And it's about,
Yeah.
you being transparent too as a business owner and going, look, this is where I'm at too.
Mm.
And, the clients that I even have found that have been a bit like, this isn't Britney,
Yeah.
been more than happy and understanding of the situation and go, as soon as you explain to them why, and the reasons
Yeah.
and they go, oh, that's great, no problem at all, and
100%.
they see me in the treatment room and they go, oh, we get it now, because I'm not
Yeah.
sitting there going, I just got to quickly, So yeah, it's just about being transparent, I think, at the end of the day as well. And just being honest with yourself and going, you know what, look, this is what my goals are, this is where I want to be. And it all comes back to time. And as we know, time is money. So
Exactly. Yeah. Well, beautiful, Brittany. I'm super glad that we obviously could get you on. I'm really conscious of your time, especially because it is a Saturday afternoon. Before I let you go, Brittany, like I say, Dan and I, we very much appreciate working with you, and hopefully, obviously, for a long, long time.
yes.
Anything else you wanted to tell the guys, or have I rinsed everything out of you?
No, you've smashed it out of the park. That's
Okay.
everything.
Beautiful. Well, Brittany, I appreciate your time. I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey, cheers, Nelson.
Take
See you
care.
later. Bye.